What a Catch, Part 72, a Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction. If you have not heard the previous 71 parts of this story, you can find a link to it in the description box below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and comment down below in support of more fanfiction. Alya froze, watching from the sideline as the paint hit Lila. For an instant she was relieved, but quickly shook the feeling out of her head. They weren't teenagers anymore, and you don't give up on a person. But what could she do from where she was? She was a reporter, nothing more. Her days as Rena Rouge, the Fox Miraculous holder, were over, and she was a mild-tempered housewife working with her husband to support her household. There weren't any tricks or gimmicks up her sleeve that could help Cat Noir out in a pinch. She had always thought of Hawkmoth as a kind of spoiled baby. He whined and threw tantrums because he didn't get what he wanted, but now, as Alya watched him laugh while he casually pushed Lila aside after using her as a shield, he redefined her definition of terrifying. She had made him laugh at her corny reporter jokes less than half an hour before, but that humanizing side of him was nowhere to be found. He was a monster. A cruel man who didn't care about who got hurt on his path to victory. The title villain was too good for him. He was merely a cruel, lonely man who happened upon power. Before she realized what she was doing, Alya found herself sprinting towards him. It was like her senses clicked into survival mode as she dodged paint shots and obstacles scattered on the ground, magically finding the right path to take as the maze whizzed by her. Perhaps it was her trusty sneakers, or maybe it was in the coffee she drank that morning, but she was moving better than she had in years. It felt good. No. It felt great. She felt more alive than she had in years. How cruel was that? She got married 4 days ago, but this, running through danger, gave her a rush that couldn't compare. Oh, how she missed this. It couldn't compare to a first kiss or watching a Disney movie. It couldn't compare with a record-breaking blog post or a celebrity award show. This was different. In an instant, she was hooked a second time on the rush from a superhero lifestyle. She was closing in on him. Somehow, in all the running and dodging, Alya got 3 turns ahead of Hawkmoth. Excellent. She hid in the path of a wrong direction and waited. Wrong directions were safe from the gunshots, so if she timed this just right, she could take him down. She could be the hero again. And take him down she did. A moment later, he was pinned to the ground under her weight, an example of her determination. She could do this. She would do this. She would save the day. Gotcha, she smirked, reaching for his pocket. Hawkmoth suddenly flipped her onto her back, grinning as his grip on her outstretched arm tightened.
"That's my line,"
he said. Uh-oh. She heard the clicking of the guns loading their next shots. They were too close to the ground for them to hit, but if she timed it just right... There. As she heard the final click, she tucked her knees to her stomach and kicked out while using her free arm to reach into his jacket pocket. It wasn't the one his Miraculous was in, but it was meant as a distraction. Her hand closed around something inside as she watched his expression turn from a gleeful smile into one of surprise. Alya couldn't help but smirk as she saw paint explode over his elbow. Some landed on her forearm as well, but it wasn't enough to stun her. Hawkmoth, on the other hand, grunted on impact, pulling away from her and dashing away, aware he was at a disadvantage. She didn't know if he was left-handed or not, but losing an arm's mobility certainly wouldn't help him. It looked like he could clear this trial, but the next one would be significantly harder, especially considering the giant teddy bear. Her grip around the object tightened. They could do this. She pulled her wrist to her chest, opening her hand to see what it held. Alya gasped, almost dropping it in surprise. It was a white shard, like a broken piece of jewelry. It couldn't be. Her fingers traced the string around her neck, making their way down to the pendant she always wore. She untucked it from beneath her shirt, holding her breath as she traced over its chip. She slowly slid the shard into the necklace, unable to exhale when she realized it was a perfect fit. It was the missing piece of her miraculous. As it glowed, fusing itself back together, Alya felt a warmth pass through her body. She remembered this feeling. She loved this feeling. Trix! Her Kwame was floating in the air in front of her, smirking. Trix had a flair for making a statement, which is probably why they worked together so well. They didn't need to use words as they exchanged glances. The two of them knew what to do next. It was showtime. Thank you so much for listening. Part 73 is on its way. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest parts of the story. In the meantime, you can check out these other fanfictions. I'll catch you next time.